Hi. No, I don't like doing that. Good evening. Um, yes, it's me again. And I just find myself continually in the mood to do this. I just can't see. I spend most of the day downstairs at the kitchen table because I don't. This is a thing that I've done for years and years now. It's a legacy of, well, I say I've done it for years and years, but there's been a big gap of not being able to do it because of how the house in Luton was. But from when I was still living with Mum to when I first moved over here, I was with the other half and we were living in this 2-bed masonette in another bit of Luton. I have always sat at a dining table most of the day. I prefer to sit on a dining chair. I don't sit on a sofa. Haven't done for a long while. Especially these days again. Because, oh geez, should I go into the whole thing? Because I kind of had a topic that I wanted to get into tonight. I was sitting here going, what am I going to talk about? I want to talk, but what the hell am I going to talk about? And so I was going to do a thing about years and then just start and go on from there. But just before we get there, God knows how long this is going to be now. As I came up to start doing this, before I did, I'm down in the dining, not on the dining table, but I'm at the dining table on a dining chair, and that's me most of the day until after I've had tea and then I have a coffee, and then I come up here and then I sit here on the bed and I'm like, I really want to talk. But I don't really particularly want to talk to someone specifically. I just want to waffle, and then I think, well, I'll do a video because it's up to whoever comes to the blog whether they want to listen to it or not. I just get the catharsis of purging and getting whatever off my chest, and people can watch it or not. So I came up here and I'm like, the hell am I going to talk about? I don't know. And then I went, because before I came up, I'm going, God, I'm really in a real magazine mood, I need to just hunt something out live, and I just sort of put magazine in the YouTube search, and it's one of the first things there was Definitive Gaze as a live version on the old grey whistle test, but the video is really jerky and crappy and skip bits and stuff, and it was a really great version of the song, but it just plays really crappily and it's not really good quality. So I just sort of went, well, I can't play that. Let's try and find a good, decent live version of Definitive Gaze. And so I found one, shared it on Facebook, and then I was sitting there going, 78, And then I was going, ideas for the blog, thinking, I wonder what, I feel like I need to do stuff, but I'm stuck because, I'm not as much as I I'm a sponge and absorb things, and want to like just get the information in and everything. I don't know every single date of in the timeline of when Simple Minds like release things and etc. Um, but I wanted to have a look. So like I was going, I'm sure there's a timeline thing on the Dreamgiver site. I'm sure there's a way to just look to see like, but it's very like generalized. It's just month by month through a year. So like, there was a thing for November 1977 and a thing for November 1978, and it's just the vagaries of that. It's not exactly like on this exact day, on this exact, this exact date. There's not really things like that so much. So I have no idea if anything happened exactly on this date, but I'm looking and going, well, November 77 is kind of the beginnings of the formation of Simple Minds, you know. um, but it says November 1978 is when they signed to Zoom. And I thought I read somewhere along the line, don't know where, can't remember, that the sort of celebratory kind of drinks thing, whatever ish thing happened at the Ubiquitous chip. And I have like, because it's like whatever, it's not very far, is it? It's like a few hundred yards down from Hillhead Subway. So I have gone down Ashton Lane and like just gone past it a few times, just going, oh, I want to go in here one day. I want to go in here one day, just as a, one of the silly things, because there are just, you have these things where you just, certain things in band history and maybe your own history as a fan where you kind of want to tick certain things off. I'm sorry, I know, I was just looking up a thing and I thought I could see a spider, which I hope can't. I don't think it is, at least I hope it isn't. Anyway, sorry, oh god, I get so distracted with stuff. I honestly think I do have something wrong with me, I really do. I've been watching like videos on and off, like YouTube, like it brings me up stuff like, showing me autistic spectrum things. I'm like, are you autistic? I mean, there was ones today where I'm watching, like going, I was watching ones about schizophrenia and oh yeah, oh god, okay. I maybe shouldn't be talking about this stuff. One wonders sometimes. Where was I? The Ubiquitous chip. I'm going past it a few times over the past year. So pre-lockdown, I was thinking, oh, it'd be nice to do the U-chip at some point. Tentatively was kind of thinking about it being the place where we would eat out like as the sort of meetup of fans happened either around the time of White Hot Day or around the time of the gig. So I was there kind of thinking, the time will come, the time will come, I will go. At some point, you know, it'll happen. And I even sort of, I don't know, who was like weird. I can't even remember who I was. Probably just with the other half. So going, there's a little bit of history here with this place as we walk past it, kind of thing. You know, telling her, and she just rolls her eyes like, oh, God. And there's me inwardly going, he wouldn't do that if it was like some Bowie history, and I was going in there, he did, you know, whatever. Never did that either. I wanted to do that for years and years and years, especially when I first got over here. All I wanted to do was just do Bowie haunts around London, like go to Brixton and like go to Bromley and go to, I never know how you pronounce it. I used to pronounce it for so long as Plaistow, but it's not. I think you're meant to pronounce it as Plaistow Grove. His house as his childhood home, and just to go to Haddon Hall, and just like I had all these things that I wanted to do and go and see, and never did. The nearest I got to like Bromley was was actually as a consequence of getting a whole big job lot of mine stuff in the really, really early days of my fandom. Went to a place in Kent. I can't remember where he was now, where this guy was. Orpington, I think, maybe? Is it Orpington? Or is it... I think that's the place. I think. Can't remember. Anyway, it's not far from Bromley, and that's as near as I ever got. So, the YouTube is on the list. More so than things like going to Tory Glen and, you know, just hanging outside Holyrood High School and stuff like that. You know, because I tentatively did kind of things like, whoa, I did one totally by accident. I had no idea when I first came, when my very first visit up here in, well, amazingly, November. What is it about November? In November 2016, when I came up to record my first lot of 15:1 episodes, I was hanging around the city, and I went up, and I'm never gonna know which one it is. Is it Renfield Street? I think it's Renfield Street. I always get confused as to which one is Renfield and which one is Renfrew, and which bit goes where. I think it's Renfield, though, I think. And where the Walkabout pub is, and where the big Cineworld is, and I didn't know at the time. Like, I'm just taking a picture of it, going, hey, you know, Aussies everywhere, and taking a picture of the Walkabout pub, little knowing that it actually was the spot where Clouds and Satellite City was, and where the Apollo was. And I'm like, it's not until I think a few months later, but the following January, Jim did a post about, you know, it being like, this is the first Minds gig, and I'm like, him sort of talking about the place, and I don't know how I kind of triggered or how I worked it out. Maybe I just sort of went, Renfield Street, isn't that where the Cineworld is? You know, and then, and then sort of like looked at the picture and then went, hey! I was standing right there and I didn't even know it. And, just the small irony of ironies, and then just happens to be a walkabout pub right there. um, so the YouTube has been on list. I'm getting to my point. Oh, 15 fucking minutes. Friggin' hell. My point being that, you know, let's say the cognoscenti, amongst us have some kind of grappling with the notion of the significance of the ubiquitous chip. My friend Birdie has been there before. And she messages me the other day going, hey, you could have a nice slap up Christmas meal by having your Christmas meal delivered from the ubiquitous chip. And I'm like, oh yeah, can I? For 100 quid? I'm like, I don't think so. The whole reason for the wanting to do the ubiquitous chip thing is to be in there. I don't want to have their food delivered to me. And not for Christmas. No thanks, Pass. So yeah, now I'm sort of going, well, when the hell's that gonna happen? I don't know. Who knows? So, well, was a big pile of nothing, wasn't it? I don't know. I was thinking I want to do, probably because actually, I'm thinking about things to do for Charlie's birthday on the blog, which I don't know what I'm going to do. I shouldn't share these things of going, I don't know what I'm going to do on my blog. So I have no brain and no imagination and just don't know. So 1978. I was going to talk about 1978 and how things went from January to the November. I don't know why. Their timeline, possibly any memories of mine. What would I remember about 1978? I was a baby. I was a little baby. A wee Ben. Well, in the January, as it transpired in the January of 1978, we just brushed upon that. Me standing outside the Walkabout pub on Renfield Street, and in 2016, and then You know, it's some 38 years prior to that. Just a few other sort of stragglers and swaggering Ouija board types. We're probably, well, maybe not just standing out there, hauling things up and getting ready to perform, as he likes to say, in front of 3 men and a dog. I'm sure there was probably more than 3 men and a dog there already that night. Yeah. And then the Mars bar residency happens. It's not going to be much of a conversation, is it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about and what I want to do. I'm gonna sit and waffle and go, how's Trax? How you doing? I'm doing okay. Hope you're alright. I'm good. Worryingly so, you know? And I think this is what's brought on this thing of me, like, just watching YouTube clips about things. Sorry, I'm burying my head in this thing. I'm just looking at the timeline for 1978. Ah, so the residency at the Mars bar happens in the April. So it says here. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I'm being really very bad doing this. Sorry, I was just reading the bits of like, I was going, he talked about them like supporting Generation X, and I never knew when that actually took place. Seemingly it happened. One moment. Supporting Generation X, sorry about that break. That happened in August 78 in Edinburgh, which would have been the gig that I'm gonna just bear with me. I do apologize. It would have been the one that, well, that would have been when they first went. When I say they, I mean Jim and David Henderson went to see Bruce. And then would have been the one that Brian Hogg went to see. The gig that Brian Hogg, well, I'm assuming it would have been the gig that Brian Hogg went to see them play. And then Bruce subsequently went. I'm not going to turn this off. Because I was going to mention other things. Yeah, I was gonna like go on from that because yeah, we just got like Malmesbury residency, and then they go to Edinburgh and do the Generation X gig. Uh, go and see Bruce. Bruce thinks, can't really, well, give you guys some advice, but come on, not really, can't really like sign you up, or because this is what he said to me when I interviewed him anyway. Can't really sign you up because I'm like doing, Zoom does singles, we concentrating on acts that we just want to give a kind of stepping stone to, and you guys are just too good. You need a full like in fully fledged record deal, not just release a single and use Zoom as a stepping stone, and Zoom's too small at that point, But he changes his mind. I think because the deal with Arista happens, and then he goes like, okay, we can do this thing. Then it's fun times at the U-chip. And then it's just breaking through around other parts of Scotland, not just concentrating on Glasgow. And then it's into 79, getting into the recording studio to do Life in a Day. Then it's going, and then this is where I was getting my little thing with how I jumped from magazine to thinking about all this, because then it's like 79 and to magazine to I would die. I would love it. Seriously, sometimes I just think, God, please can I have a TARDIS? Please, please, please give me a TARDIS so I could see one of those gigs. Maybe the one that Jane told me about. That sounds like fun. I mean, they all sound like fun, but there was one where she sort of said about they had bought this jacket, they bought this kind of sort of, I don't know, like a sort of shimmery, like sequin gold. I mean, I can't remember what it was, but it was like this like really kind of pretty special jacket, that they shared, her and Jim. And there was some, I can't remember the exact wording now, like how she even told it to me, but there was this idea of her like going out onto the stage to give to hand John McGeoch the saxophone to play, but like like bring it out on the stage like ta-da, like a magician's assistant. She wasn't really that keen, but was kind of like just coerced into it kind of thing. But it sounded like it was kind of embarrassing because, John wasn't really expecting it, and then the guys were just like, having a good old laugh at his reaction to it. So bad for Jane. Sounded like it was quite embarrassing in actual fact. For her, you know. Like, but the gigs would have been just amazing. Anyway, that was sort of just become really normal. Oh, there's me sitting there with my wishful thinking, going, "Oh, on the TARDIS, I'm gonna be able to see one of those gigs." Never mind. What was I doing? What was I doing in 1978 and into 79? Let me think about it. Well, in November 1978, I would have only just turned 8 years old. Little baby. Oh, I tell you what, I could share that picture. There is a picture of me as an 8-year-old that I have. Oh my god. I don't know whether I can access it on here. I think it is on Facebook. I think it's on my Facebook bits, which means it probably looks really pixelated and crap these days. But I don't know if I have a better. I don't know if I have a better copy of it, because I brought some photos back with me, but I didn't have a lot. Let me see. Because I know you're like absolutely goddamn interested and really dying to see me as a kid. This one, if it shows up properly, this is me as an 8-year-old. On the very rare occasion I was snapped in a school photo. There we go. Look at that. Oh my god. My hair was straight then. That's the longest my hair was until now. Like basically that was it. That's how long it had been since I had hair that long. Not that you can tell because it's tied up in a ponytail, but it was fairly long. Look at those ears. God, my ears were big. Were. Look at them now. I don't know about being able to hold, things in your fuzzies. I can hold things in my dimples. Look at them. Jesus Christ. Where'd they go? Oh. Cheeks are too fat now, they have dimples. So I was kind of going to school then. I was in a very good class at that point. Yeah. That was before I started to skip school and have time away, and I've never really been particularly great with school attendance, it has to be said. Not because I didn't want to learn, but because I didn't want to be around my peers. And that's part of the thing that I was reading with the, if we're going to get back onto the, potential mental illness / autism spectrum / how the hell else do we explain my weirdness? Yeah. Oh, I don't want this to be maudlin, God, because if I could just get on this shit, it would be freaking maudlin. I'm good. I'm feeling good. So why am I doing stuff that's just taking me in the places that I don't want it to go to? I don't know why. I'm trying to think what I would have been doing as an 8-year-old, other than, just annoying my siblings. That's what I was thinking about earlier today. Because I was thinking about Mum. Again, it has the potential of going really maudlin. Sorry about this. But yeah, I mean, because we're just a few days away from the anniversary of Mum's death. So, I was thinking about stuff today. Not in a really maudlin way, but in a way that kind of was, I don't know why I was thinking about this. I was just thinking about, how much shit I gave her, because I was a brat. Well, I felt I was very bratish sometimes. Obviously didn't mean to be, I guess. Well, no, in retrospect, I didn't mean to be. But at the time, there must have been some reasoning behind it, but I don't know what it was. I obviously got some kind of thrill out of it or something. I don't know. It perplexes me now in this day, why I would have done what I would do. I'd really act out really bad, like she didn't hit me much. But when I look back on times when I was like, given a serving, I really deserved it. Because I just goaded and antagonized really badly. Like, there's a particular thing I can remember, and I think I should have been old enough to know better, because my brother Quince is with his girlfriend, who then becomes, his like partner for like 20 odd years, Kim, and Kim is there, and I'm like, just, we have this, bungalows. We have like bungalows, most houses are bungalows. So I'm running up and down the hall. And I'm just running up and down the hall, just to run up and down the hall. And every time I run down to the end of the hall, at the end of the hall is my bedroom. And so I just keep on going out to the living room, running down to the end of the hall as fast as I can, and just landing on my bed. So, like, just throwing myself on the bed. And Mummy's just saying to me, like, stop doing it, don't do it. You get one more warning, just don't, cut it out. And I'm going and going and going, and just keep on doing it, you know. There's a goading thing of like, yeah, sure. You're not going to do anything. I got the most incredible whack. It left brand marks on me. Like, I mean, people would probably think that you're laughing about it. Because I freaking deserved it. Because I just goaded her to the point where, you know, what else was she gonna do, basically? I don't, you know, I don't kind of, what's the, I don't know what I'm looking for, like how to, I completely empathize with what she did, how she got there, like, just, not that I would ever do that. I've never, like, well, I can't remember. Maybe as a kind of like something like that. I've never really like ever hit my nieces and nephews or anything. Any child that I've minded. But I can understand why she did it. Oh, why am I talking about this shit? Honestly, I don't know. Just because it was on my mind today. And I was thinking about it, and I was going, Jesus, I was goading you, and I really don't blame you for doing what you did. It was a sandal. I think it was one of my own sandals rather than one of her sandals. It was a sandal, and she just went right on my back. It fucking hurt. Like hell, like a bastard. Oh my god. Yeah, I was crying my freaking eyes out. Oh my god. But I deserved it. And I remember Kim just laughing, going, basically saying that, going, ha, sucked in, you deserved it. It was, I don't have many of those memories at all. Honestly, like I don't. It's not like Mum was hitting me every 5 minutes, even though I really freaking gave her reason to most of the time. But I think because I was thinking about how she like wanted me to be, all the things that she was trying to instill in me that didn't really happen. I don't know, because there were conflicting things. There was conflicting things with her, you know. These are the things. See, these are the weird things. Like I could be like that with her, and I could really like goad her and antagonize her, and just be such a awful shit, and yet I let kids my age just like walk all over me, and just I wouldn't stand up for myself, and be petrified, really, and run away and just part of the reason why I never went to school very much. Really hard, like, because you got, like, if you have a bully at school, it's one thing. You can just not go to school and avoid them. But if your bully lives in the same street as you, well, you can't go to school. You can't go out on the street to play. It's kind of what happened to me for a few years. Yeah, I do get really stuck and thinking things and like reliving stuff and going over stuff and don't have many like memories of doing fun things with mum at that point in time because mum was really like big. It's inherited. But also at that point she was quite agoraphobic, like really badly, like wouldn't go out at all and do things. I had to take myself to school. I can't even remember if she went shopping. I don't think she would even go shopping that much. I think we like mostly did go what can't even talk. Went and got things that were needed. Because there was a really, really bad point where she just really didn't go anywhere unless it was absolutely necessary. I think when I first started school, the first day of kindergarten, she took me, but after that, I had to go on my own. My sister was going to, I think my sister would have already been in high school by then, or just about to start. So, yeah, she must have already been. But she couldn't be. But I don't remember us walking to school together, and I don't know why that would be, because if she hadn't been in high school yet, we would have been going to the same school, but I have no memory. I have no memory of us walking to school together. That's strange. Oh God, what was I saying about it not wanting to be more clean? Because I think about this stuff and it just kind of just brings me down. I'm going like, what am I thinking about? Like going to school and I'm not trying to conjure up like good memories of the time, but there are none because well there are some. I mean, the music. The music is good. I remember, like, I had all the nice memories I have of that time, and like silly little snippet things of like listening to the radio, or maybe not so much listening to albums then because I would have been too young to like to do that kind of thing. So it's listening to the radio. It's listening to the radio and being outside and playing on the swing. Riding my bike, probably, because I had bikes from like 5 years old. Had a little 3-wheeler trike thing, and from then on just bikes. Tiny little bike with little training wheels, or what you guys call stabilizers. Why you call them stabilizers? And then just progressively up and up. Can't friggin' ride a bike to save my life now. I damn love my bikes. Oh. Can't remember a time I didn't have a bike when I was growing up. The good memories I have with Mom, like good memories of us like going out and doing things, and not until I'm in my teens or like just pre-pubescent, like coming into my teens, because she kind of got on this really big like kick, this diet kick, losing weight, and she lost a fuck ton of weight in about 1981. Like she really, like, for her, I mean, still big, but she like lost tons. And then it's kind of overcome the agoraphobia some, and we would go out and we'd go out and go shopping and go to I know, the bright lights of Liverpool. I don't know what it's akin to. I suppose it's kind of, I don't know. You just living in the outskirts of the major city or something. I don't know. It's kind of akin to being here, you know. I live in the Apostle Park, and you know, you go into Glasgow city centre, it's akin to that. Not that Liverpool is the size of of Glasgow, but so it was a bus ride in. It's like a kind of 20-minute bus journey into a sort of major town of, well, Liverpool is a city in its own right. You know, it's far enough out of Sydney to be its own city. And we go to this little cafe restaurant place, and I can't even remember what it's called now. We used to go there every fortnight, not every week. you know, my mum was on a pension, and so yeah, we got paid fortnightly. So every fortnight we'd go in and we'd go to this place, and they ended up sort of knowing us by name because it was our place that we would go to all the time, and I can't even remember what it was called now. It's terrible. See, I say that I have an appalling memory, and I do have an appalling memory. How can I not remember what that place is called? She used to have a cappuccino. That was the thing. She always had a cappuccino, and I would have, I don't know, whatever milkshake took my fancy, I think. Probably my usual, like, vanilla malted milkshake that we talked about some time back. I can't remember what that place was called. That's so terrible. I want to go and see if I can find out what it was called. I probably wouldn't even be able to find it. I wouldn't even know what to call it. What to call it. How to look for it. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm just... How did I go from... don't know. Anyway, it's like 56 minutes and I don't want this to go over an hour. I really don't. And I'm going to stop and just work on my thing. Try and work on more of what I'm going to do with this goddamn top 50. The art has left me. I don't know. I sit here most nights going, oh, I really would like to work on a piece of art, and then I'm going, I don't know what to do. I didn't even look at. Oh, it's terrible. It's like I'm falling out of love with him. I'm not even looking at pictures of Jim to even like think what one I'm going to use next. I'm not falling out of love with him. That would be impossible. Oh my god. No. The day I do that is the day that, you know, just put the cuffs on me and, you know, take me to Bedlam, honestly. Probably do that anyway, to be honest. Anyway, it's 58.5 minutes, and tomorrow's going to be sunny, and I'm going to go out. I don't know where. we're even going to do Mary Hill, go to the snack shop, or I really want to go back down to the Clyde, and I want to go over that bridge, because I never thought that you couldn't go over that bridge, or that it was locked off, and that you couldn't walk across it, but you can. The one that's down that way. One down there. Down by where the green is, you know, this, whatever it is, the suspension bridge one. I want to go over that one. So maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. Thursday and Friday look okay too. Not sunny, not like super sunny like tomorrow will be, but who knows? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we've got like 20 seconds, and I'm sorry this was so maudlin. You don't have to watch it. Well, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see this unless you watch it.